Get your phone, open your digital wallet, and pay careful attention to your XRP balance because there is something remarkable happening in the cryptocurrency space at the moment. The most loud and forceful alarm bell the XRP community has ever heard has officially been set off by what happened on the blockchain, and it has sent shockwaves through traders and investors worldwide. A staggering 2 billion XRP, which alone surpasses the entire supply of the majority of mid-cap coins, was recently moved off exchange and placed in deep, impenetrable cold storage in a move that has left observers in disbelief. The market is on edge because these funds are now totally out of reach, with no plans to return to circulation anytime soon, no intention of short-term movement, and no intention of liquidation. This behavior is not typical of whales. This isn't just a random wallet swap. It's not market noise. This is the last stage of accumulation. The timing of this final stealthy lunge by whales before a historic, irrevocable vertical breakout is not chance. These transfers always take place right before the opening of institutional corridors, the restructuring of liquidity providers' books, and the eventual explosion of suppressed assets into open price discovery. Blockchain forensics verify that the patterns of these wallets are the same as those of early accumulation wallets from the 2017 run of Bitcoin, the 2020 supply shock of Ethereum, and the 2017 parabolic rise of XRP. However, the scale is enormously larger this time, and the target is definitely more strategically located. The market is forced into a supply shock as institutions and retailers compete for scraps when 2 billion XRP leaves the exchanges at once, causing the available supply to instantly fall. Buyers now compete with the remaining scant liquidity, which includes books that are left on order and vanish with even moderate demand rather than with whales. For this reason, experts claim that this action is a prelude to the impending big run. When the supply is restricted, there is nothing left to sell, thus the price can no longer be kept low. At this point, the narrative shifts from stunning to downright explosive. This scale of whale behavior has a single meaning. They are aware that the period of suppression is finished. They are aware of the end of the time of hidden buildup. They are aware that liquidity providers are getting ready for the last round of institutional onboarding. This amount of liquidity is only removed from the table by whales when they are setting up for a once-in-a-lifetime vertical candle. This type of move is uncommon and indicates that the market is going to experience something exceptional. This amount of stockpiling indicates that the major participants are getting ready for a sharp price increase that has the potential to break all previous records. This is precisely what occurred before to Bitcoin's increase from $1,000 to $20,000. The world is shocked, almost immediately producing a new generation of cryptocurrency millionaires. It followed the similar pattern prior to Ethereum's explosive rise from $200 to $4,000. Decentralized finance and blockchain innovation are always evolving, and this is what XRP is doing at the moment. But on a scale that is much larger than anything seen in its prior cycles, with previously unheard of levels of institutional involvement and interest. Because XRP is now more than just a speculative asset, it is the backbone of incoming financial rails, a settlement layer, and a liquidity engine that has the potential to completely change the current global financial system. The amount of XRP that institutions require to function in the new system has already been modeled, and it greatly outweighs the amount that is now available on the market. That preparation includes the 2 billion XRP that recently disappeared into cold storage. Whales don't wager. They are preparing for a scenario in which market necessity causes XRP to become scarce, illiquid, and aggressively repriced. Retailers frequently underestimate the effects of supply shocks. As demand increases, they envision prices rising gradually and step by step. Supply shocks, however, are not gradual. They move quickly, they are aggressive, they happen instantly. Order books narrow out to the point where even medium-sized buy orders result in vertical candles when whales remove billions of XRP. Price reacts to pure math rather than sentiment as liquidity dries up. Not enough supply, too many buyers. The circulating supply becomes functionally disabled when 2 billion XRP is eliminated. When the market enters a scarcity event, bids take up any leftover crumbs, and as soon as institutions start purchasing, the remaining liquidity vanishes in an instant. At this point, the $10,000 pump becomes mathematically believable rather than dramatic. Demand picks up speed and liquidity collapses, causing price discovery to soar rather than sag. Massive cold storage whale events are regarded by analysts as the last sign before a big run, since they have a thorough understanding of this dynamic. The supply shock is now operating, as indicated by the whales, and verified by the blockchain. All XRP holders have been waiting for this time, the indication that the markup period is starting, and the accumulation era is coming to a close. Whales is not getting ready for a few bucks in upside. They are aiming for multi-thousand-dollar territory when XRP will become too valuable to ignore and too scarce to sell. The $10,000 price objective used to seem sort of absurd to people who didn't understand liquidity modeling, but the math becomes clear when you take into account institutional reserves, settlement velocity, cross-border flow requirements, and, of course, the declining supply. Due to excitement, XRP does not reach 4 digits. When it becomes globally essential, it gets to 4 digits because, as you may know, whales must position themselves ahead of everyone else in a subtle, strategic, and unnoticed manner. They move silently because of this. They pass via private vaults for this reason. For this reason, they choose for cold storage corridors, which permanently remove tokens from the public market. When whales transfer coins, retail investors frequently become alarmed. However, the movement is the reverse of bearish this time. You should be alarmed when whales send tokens to exchanges because it indicates that a sale is imminent. However, the strongest bullish signal the market has printed in years is when 2 billion XRP goes off exchanges. At that point, you should hold, not doubt, and get ready. The remaining supply of XRP has now reached the danger zone, where it is thin, brittle, and susceptible to sudden fluctuations. When XRP breaches multi-year resistance amid a supply shock, the momentum becomes, quite honestly, unstoppable. Any sizable institutional market order can set off cascading price movements that shatter resistance levels that have held for, say, 10 years. The supply is running out, the price suppression phase is coming to an end, the whales have spoken, and the blockchain has confirmed it. The explosive parabolic terror of missing everything $10,000 a pump, the last pump phase, is now underway. The market will never look the same again after this, so check your wallet now, stay strong, and be ready for the fireworks. Please keep in mind that nothing in this video should be interpreted as expert financial advice, because I am not a licensed financial counselor. These films' material is intended simply as entertainment, and is only meant to offer broad knowledge and perspectives. Before making any investments or financial decisions, I always advise viewers to do their own research, carefully consider all available information, and speak with knowledgeable experts. I sincerely appreciate you listening and giving me your precious time today. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it or found it useful, and remember to hit the subscribe button to aid the channel. Additionally, make sure you enable the notifications so you'll be the first to know when I post changes or new stuff. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, be careful and maintain your curiosity.